Welcome all. My semester 3 students, I shall be doing with you two texts from CC5. I shall begin with Anne Bradstreet's Prologue, and the second text that I shall be doing is William Faulkner's Dry September. Now, before I move on to discussion proper on Bradstreet, I believe it's necessary to have a brief idea of the historical period. So, I shall try in this video to contextualize Bradstreet's Prologue and also in the next one. So let's move on to today's discussion. The story begins with the discovery of America. The Renaissance period in Europe brought with it the culture of investigation and exploration, and hence discovery of new lands. In the screen you can see what is meant by discovery. It was not that the land America was not there, but discovery means to bring a land into existence in history or anthropocentric epistemology. Thus, as a result of the Renaissance spirit, in the year 1492, Columbus, intending to reach Indies, that is modern South Asia, arrives at America. The original inhabitants of the area were Asiatic nomads, clustered in several tribes, who, as per historians, came from Central Asia some 60,000 years ago. In the initial years, European settlers were not much successful in their colonization attempt. It was only in the year 1607 that the first English colony was established at Jamestown, Virginia. There were two other important events around this time which is important in order to understand American literature. The first is the beginning of slavery and the second is the Puritan immigration. I'll talk about the Puritan immigration in details mainly in the second video of this series. So now let's move on to the year 1619. 1619 marks the date when the first enslaved Africans arrived at Jamestown. The ship, the White Lion, brought the first African slaves to the American soil. So from the aforementioned events, it can be said, even in the early days of America, multiculturalism was there. In and around 1619, thus we had three cultural groups: the European colonizers, the African slaves, and the Native Americans. Thus, when we speak about American literature, broadly speaking, the literature of the northern continent can be classified into white Americans writing, Afro-American writing, Native American writing. Bradstreet's Prologue falls under the category of white American literature. Captain John Smith can be considered the first author of this category for his work, A True Relation of Such Occurrences and Accidents of Note as Had Happened in Virginia, published in the year 1608, was the first writing in this category. Now, speaking about Afro-American writing and Native American writing, we need to move forward in time. In 1773, Phyllis Wheatley's Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral, was published, and this marks the beginning of Afro-American literature. Samson Occom, a Native American, wrote A Short Narrative of My Life in the year 1768. But it was not until 1982 that it was published. Thus, as the first Native American publication, William Apper's A Son of the Forest marks the beginning of Native American writing. But the colorful history of America has many more diverse events. Back in England, under the reign of Charles I, intolerance was growing in context of Puritan views. And so, the Puritans migrated from there and arrived at Plymouth in the year 1620. The famous English ship Mayflower have transported these English families, known today as the Pilgrims, from England to the New World. This is the point where I'll stop. In the next video, I shall be talking more about Puritanism in America, which is important for our understanding of Bradstreet. Thank you all for watching.